Hi guys, I'm Michelle Jones and we're live. Okay, so I have entitled this I Am a Trailing Spouse. The last few months that we've been here in Canberra, I realized how much more difficult life is as a trailing spouse can be in these difficult times. How has it been for you? Join me as we talk about the challenges, the difficulties. A trailing spouse is someone who follows her or his partner overseas or interstate to be able to build their career. And while you, as a trailing spouse, have to sometimes, stop your career or put it on pause, leave your job temporarily as you follow them to their new country, new post, new assignment. And let's talk about that today. I'm just gonna see how we're going live. Say hello, let me know where you're joining us from. And let me know if you are a trailing spouse, if you have trailed your husband previously, or your wife previously, or your partner. And let me know what the challenges have been. So let's just go and check and make sure we are good. Okay, perfect. Oh, thanks, that ego girl. Okay, so recently I was asked to prepare a speech for a conference that I was meant to be in. I was meant to be in Anaheim today, but because of COVID, everything's been affected. All the moves, all the travels that I've been doing. Usually, I travel every 6 weeks to every couple of months, but that hasn't been the case. We have been back here in Canberra, well, back here in Australia for the last 8 months. We have moved 4 times in that 8 months. So it has been very challenging. The challenges of being a trailing spouse is that every time there is a big thing like this, you have to put yourself on hold because you have to make sure that the transition, even during COVID, of moving your children back home here to Canberra from Indonesia, where we were, is as smooth as possible. That they're able to still do well in school, that they're adjusting to their new environment. And then now we are actually going to go back to Jakarta once again, that the transition from here to Jakarta is as seamless as possible. So I don't know how it is where you are. Let me know how the situation of COVID is going. But Canberra has been COVID free for a while. We've had a couple of cases recently, but these are cases of diplomats coming into Canberra, isolating in their homes and having been tested positive. But the government has been really good at keeping that at bay, and it has never really spread out to the rest of the population. So we've been really, really good. So imagine us going from a place of, well, right now, 1 case of COVID to a place where there's a lot of COVID going on. It's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. But again, as a trailing spouse, what I have done is just gotten in touch with people on the ground and just checked how they've been doing. We've had friends who've never left, who've just stayed there, and they've said, "Oh, just stayed home. We've kept ourselves safe," and that's part of it. But when I was explaining what I was doing and when I was preparing my speech, I realized that a trailing spouse is nothing. It's not really that different to a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad who's decided to put their careers on hold to be able to raise their family. All of us have had to make the sacrifices for our children, for our family, to make sure that we can have, well-rounded, thriving kids. And if this is you and you've been struggling throughout this time, connect with me. I always say, people who are going through the same situation should connect with each other because there's no one else that will understand you better than someone who's going through the same thing. And one of the things that I'd like to share with you, if you're a trailing spouse or if you've had to put your career on hold, is that you don't really have to wait till everyone's grown up, till everyone's out of the house. You can actually start programming and creating the steps that to you need to take to be able to build the vision that you have for yourself, for your future. As you build your future, as you build your vision, as you get all this excitement happening, and as you build your business or your career, you also inspire your children to do the same. You inspire your children to realize that life isn't just this small, or the world isn't that this small. It isn't just you and your children or you and your family. It's actually bigger than that. The difference that you can make to the people around you, to your environment, to to the world globally, online, is such a big thing, and is as important as raising your family. If you have something to share to others, you have to do that. And if staying at home and raising your children is preventing you from being a more complete person, then there's something wrong. Remember, people who truly care for you, people who truly love you, will want you to be happy and complete. And if you aren't complete with your vision, with your dream for the future, then that's just it. You're not complete. There will always be people around you that will be stopping you from achieving your goals and your dreams. But why let them dictate what is your truth? A lot of times I say people say what they say from their heart, but that's from their heart based on their truth. They believe those things because for them, that is their truth. But it doesn't have to be your truth. Their truth is different from your truth, right? So let me know what you're thinking. Hey, darling. Hey, May May. Hey, Dad. I have to check. Hey, Connie. Let me know where you're joining from. There are other people on the line that I do not recognize. Say hello and just, connect. And let me know what the challenges are that you guys have experienced. So with this move back into Indonesia, we now have to get ourselves, ready psychologically and, well, physically. We have to pack up our home and get ourselves sorted to go back. But we have PCR testing that has to happen. We've got masks that we have to prepare for, because there's no masks here. No one wears masks here in Canberra, except for certain areas. Like if you go to the Apple store, you need to wear a mask. There was a period where when you go to certain clinics, you need to be wearing a mask, but it hasn't really been something that you do all the time. Once we go into Indonesia, that's something that will happen, that has to happen, and that we would like to do as well to protect ourselves and to keep ourselves safe. So all this transition, all these changes are part of our society now. It's a part of our life now. And if we don't try and adapt to it, if we keep living in denial, we also make it harder for ourselves to be able to live a normalish life. Today was very busy, and I apologize for not having been able to create a flyer for Cuppa with Michelle. And the reason for that is, again, the preparation for the move. For those of you that have been following me with my frozen shoulder journey, I am doing my physiotherapy like every day now. And I did my house inspection for the house that we're leaving behind here. I did, I had my meetings today. So as I was saying, although I'm not able to travel, all the lectures, all the talks are done online. And, I've just, earlier this morning, I was discussing with another lady my TED Talks and my scheduled talk for women global empowerment. And all these things, you have to be able to juggle. The great thing about our current situation is it's easier to actually juggle everything because everyone has to meet you online. You don't have to travel anywhere. You don't need to leave for anywhere. You can raise your children. You can support your children while you're at home. It can be quite tricky because especially if you don't really have a very big space and everyone's online and everyone's talking at the same time, then that can be quite tricky. So you'll have to try and figure out your schedules for each other. Luckily, we do have the space here now. It wasn't quite the same when we first got it in the first few places that we stayed in, because in smaller apartments and smaller units, as soon as my son speaks, and he's 15, so his voice is quite deep and loud, as soon as he starts speaking, the whole house hears what he's saying. So it wasn't quite as easy to do my lives, my cuppas, so, but no matter what the challenge is, if you truly want to make it work, you can make it work. There's no such thing as not being able to make it work. So let me know what your challenges are. Let me know how you're doing. And let's support each other. What are you drinking right now? Hey, Judy, how are you? Thanks for watching. So I have, that's right, multitasking. Looking fabulous for this multitasking Wonder Woman. Thank you, Judy. Yes, I literally have not stopped. I was late for my physiotherapy today because my stop was my lunch break. I went all the way to a different part. So I went to the north side of Canberra, and there's a restaurant there that my son loves, and he's been bugging me about getting food from there. So I had to do that, got the food, brought it back here, had 12 minutes to eat and drive back to my physio. So let me just have a sip. Let me know what you're drinking. Let me know what you're joining with and where you're joining from. Come on, type up something. Let's start the conversation rolling. What are your difficulties? Are you a stay-at-home mom? Have you had to put your life on hold? Are you a trailing spouse? Are you juggling work and raising a family? Whether you're a man or a woman, you could be a trailing spouse. You can be a stay-at-home dad. So I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of amazing male trailing spouses. So let me know what your challenges are and where you're joining from. While I'm waiting for you to type everything, we have a little bit of a delay from actual to when it's actually posting online, and I look down to just check on my phone what's happening. And while you're doing that, let's just go through a few things of how we've dealt with, how I have dealt with being a trailing spouse in this difficult time, and how my friends have done the same. So a lot of people have been pulled out from overseas back into their countries. I was just reading the statistics, and it's crazy, the numbers of people that have been moved in country. I was reading that there were something like 30,000 people that were moved out, between 30,000 to 300,000 people that were moved out per country, from really high COVID areas back home to be able to keep them safe. And with that move, not everyone gets to move out, because when your spouses are in the country that's affected, sometimes because of the job or the work, the business is still needing to run, they get left behind. So my husband, for example, we've been very lucky because he's been back and forth. We've had him here for a bit, and he's been back there as well. But some families have never been with their loved ones. They've been separated for this long, and that's quite challenging. And how do you deal with that? I actually think that the best way to deal with that is to just keep yourself busy and keep yourself focused and enjoy what your home offers you, or what your area offers you. So I was talking to a friend of mine who never left Indonesia, and they said, oh, we've never left the house, we've been back home. But even if that's the case for you, there are things that you couldn't do previously because you were always busy, you're always out. So those are the things that you should look at doing. Simple tasks like checking your books, checking what books you haven't read that you've bought, checking what lectures you've signed up for that you haven't finished, or courses you've signed up for that you've got recordings for that you haven't heard. Those are the things that you should be focusing on rather than focusing on what you can't do. If you keep focusing on what you can't do, you miss out on the opportunity of what you can do, right? So one of the best things about being back here in Canberra is just being able to enjoy walking outside, clear blue skies, seeing the herbs around, having access to all those amazing healing herbs that I couldn't have access to when I was in Jakarta. In fact, I even started creating my online modules for herbal medicine. So here's some herbs I've actually created. So it says there, porridge, 21st of October. I have here sage, 21st of October. So these are my herbal tinctures that I've created. And I've got here my aloe. So, oops, there you go. That's my aloe barbadensis. I've got my calendula that I've already bottled. This is my calendula extract tincture. I have got, what else do I have? I have my flower essences. Okay, so when you focus on what is it that's here, what is it that this environment offers me, what is it that I haven't been able to do, then you'll find something to do. If you focus on the negative, then it's just too difficult. Remember that successful people are successful because they've always had a positive mindset. Or if they do, we're all human. We all get stressed. We all get depressed. We all, get affected by change. Change is always something that's difficult. But the quicker you recover from that change, the quicker you change your mindset, the more you're able to accomplish, the more you're able to do. So, keep that in mind. Again, learn what you've never had a chance to learn. Everything's online. Everyone's offering so many different amazing things online. Okay. Judy, I'm sipping and drinking Kangen infused Ukon turmeric tea. Perfect. Met a male trailing spouse and he is incredible, really backing and supporting his spouse and kids, allowing them to shine. Exactly. Judy, that's an amazing thing. And, it's something that sometimes trailing spouses forget. Trailing spouses forget just how important they are to the family, and I think it's also like when stay-at-home parents, all of a sudden get really depressed because they feel like, I'm being left out because everyone else is growing and thriving and we're left behind. But when you remember your role for your children to thrive and your role for balance in the family, then you have a better appreciation of what it is that you've done. You have a better appreciation of the sacrifices that you've made. And because of that better appreciation, you realize, okay, hold on, I can do this. I can do something else now. And that's okay, because we all have to thrive and grow. It doesn't mean that if you decide to sacrifice your time for your family that you stop growing. That is just not right. And that is being selfish. That's also you being selfish to yourself because you're not allowing yourself to grow. Remember, we are designed to keep thriving. Hi, Asha. How are you? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm still getting used to my new hairdo. Anyway, I was going to make a comment about my new hair, but let's do that next time. Connie. Due to pandemic, a lot of people suddenly have to move back home or move between cities, between islands in Indonesia. What will be your tips for those who suddenly move around? You know what? I think the tip is basically maximize that opportunity. If, for example, you used to live, let's just pretend, in Bali and you've been working in Jakarta and you've had to move back to Bali, hey, enjoy your time back with your family. Because if not for COVID, you wouldn't be seeing them again, right? Enjoy what you've missed. When it comes to not being able to get out, not being able to go to work, well, I always say when there's a roadblock, see what that means for you. Don't just stop and think, oh my God, this is just too difficult. I don't know. I can't do this. Think and ask yourself, why is this happening? What is this trying to show me? What am I supposed to do now? Right? Um, a lot of the times, a lot of people, thanks for the question, Connie. Huh? That's a very, very good question. But a lot of the people who move around or who've been very busy with work forget that when there's a roadblock, it might just be a signal. And I always say a signal from the heavens or a signal from the universe that you need to reassess what you're doing and see if it's really something that you want to do. For example, with all the traveling that I used to do, one of the things that I complained about was that there would be times that it would be so exhausting because I'd miss my family, I'd miss my time with my family. Well, guess what? We've had so much time with our family now, right? And the other thing that I said I always was a bit upset about was every time my children would graduate from high school and move away, I didn't really have enough time with them to prepare them for living on their own. But now I do. Now I've been with Natalie for 8 months. So I was telling my husband, well, you know what? I think she's tired of me. I think she wants me to go back because it's now her time to shine. But during the time that we've been together, we've been able to do so much more. She's had her driving lessons ahead of her other sisters. She's been able to just, learn how to cook with me. She's been able to experiment on things and just relax, enjoy the company. And I think those are the things that we have to be thankful for because prior to COVID, that wasn't possible. It would have been so complicated, so difficult. And COVID was actually a time for all of us to just stop and breathe, And it's funny because COVID is about not being able to breathe. But our lives prior to COVID was that a lot of us were, how do you say, in a rat race. And we were struggling to just get ahead, and there were people saying, oh, it just hasn't been fair because they've had all these opportunities. And one of the things that I was saying was, I said to Adam, I said, sweetie, I don't really want to travel as much as my other coaches. That's not the life that I want. I love traveling for work. I love going to Colombo, for example, and working in the clinic and staying there for a while. I wouldn't mind just stopping and staying there for a long period. Perhaps not permanently, but for a long period. And then go back and move somewhere else, right? We were talking about, perhaps, when all the kids are gone, we can live in a different place every 3 months, grow our business in those places, and just enjoy the culture, the language, the food, our friends in those places, and live our life that way. Because one of the other things that COVID has taught us is that we can all work from home. We can all create our lives so that we're able to do it from home, or we could do it while we're traveling. So we've had friends and family who, moved outside of the city to be able to have a chance to stay by the coast or near the ocean while they're working because they were working from home anyway. So they were enjoying a much better environment for them, where they were thriving even more because they weren't in the busy city. They were actually able to walk out on the beach, swim on the beach, and be safe away from the crowd while still maintaining their work, their jobs, right? So find the positives, the amazing opportunities that COVID has to offer, and do that. I will be able to talk in 3 different cities in a very short amount of time simply because all of them are now online. How amazing is that? That would have been so difficult or close to impossible to do prior to COVID. So find the positives. Okay, let me just see where our questions are at. Thank you, guys. Thank you for following and for your comments. I'm very interested to find out. Okay, so this is what's happening. Wednesday next week, before I forget, is when I travel from Canberra to Sydney. Um, my flight, if I am not mistaken, Dad, what's my flight? I think it's about noon. It's about noon. So what we're going to be doing is I'm actually going to be sharing a recording about trailing spouses. This was a recording that was done by Luminary Learning, and I don't think I've shared the full recording um, on our pages. So I'm going to share that recording with you and share my thoughts, other thoughts that I didn't get a chance to share in uh, that interview. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to hear from all the other trailing spouses, from all the other moms and dads who have had to stay home to raise the children, who've had to put their careers on hold, who've had to leave their jobs temporarily. Because you guys have to know how important you are to your family. And if you find that all of a sudden you're doubting yourself because you don't know if you can get back into the groove of things, you don't know if you have it in you to rebuild a business or even to grow a business from scratch, connect with me. You know, I was talking to a friend earlier and I said the amazing thing about stopping to raise your kids is all of a sudden you doubt whether or not you would be okay talking to adults because your head is now used to hearing Bob the Builder, Thomas the Tank Engine, you know, and that's your life, you know, Dora the Explorer. Those were the cartoons that my children loved watching. And you know, you talk to your kids, you prepare for your kids, and sometimes your world just revolves around them. So your conversation in your head is mostly about kids. And you're always afraid and wondering, do I still have it in my head? Is my brain still working? Do I still know things? You know, am I still going to be able to do what I used to do? I asked myself that. I was so worried about not being able to go back and build a business. I thought that was it. You know, I could go back to the workforce and just, you know, do what I'm told, but not necessarily build a business. But no, that's not true. You've got it in you. We all have it in us. We all have it in us to build our business. And you know what? If you just open your eyes and you open your mind, there are so many options. You know, one of the things that Judy and I do. Judy's my business partner in one of my businesses, and she is from Singapore, and one of our businesses together has allowed us to actually travel globally to different parts of the world, building this business, creating partners over there, sharing health and wellness and wealth and financial freedom and time freedom. So it was just there. It wasn't something that needed, you know, a PhD or a lot of training. There was work to be done, there was studying to be done, but it was studying and work that could be done while building the business. Now there are also other things that you could do with your passion. So I'm very passionate about health and wellness. I'm a naturopath, herbalist, iridologist, and anti-aging practitioner. So I still have my clinics. That's my other income stream. I still do coachings online. I've got my wellness programs and modules online. So all of that's still there. I still teach. I teach iridology and I teach herbal medicine. And all those things, if you told me that, what, maybe 20 years ago, 18 years ago, I don't think I would have believed you. Because 18 years ago, I thought, oh my God, my brain's just filled with Dora the Explorer, Thomas the Tank Engine, Bob the Builder, bananas in pajamas, you know. So that was what I thought my life would be. It was a little bit sad. And it was funny that it was sad because when I had my first kids, I thought, you know, I haven't spent time with them. I've been working so much. And then when I stopped and spent time with my children, I thought, oh my God, Have I stopped too long? You know? And no, we are smart people and we have it in us as long as we trust in ourselves, we trust in our abilities, and we trust in the abilities that's been given to us by the Most High. So keep that. Abe, thank you. You know what? I'm still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to the short hair. But yes, thank you. For those of you that don't know, hey, Isabel, how are you? My God, I love your Indian dress. It was gorgeous. Anyway, so yes, again, for those of you that didn't know, I cut my hair from it was quite long. I cut it short and donated my pony. And so, if any of you are looking at donating your ponytail to cancer or to sustainable hair or to the organizations around you, please do that because it's nice to know that something that you loved and took care of is going to be used by someone, loved by someone, and it will give someone comfort, right? So that's why I donated it. And I'm going to grow this again to the same length, get it cut again, and that's going to be something that I'll be doing regularly, or depending on how quickly my hair decides to grow, right? So, but if we keep ourselves healthy, then our hair will keep growing well. All right, let me just read the messages here. Judy Fleming, I know it's easier said than done. It's not easy. It takes decision and focus to embrace the change and decide to make the best. There will be downs. I had them too, but we always have choice. I was blessed to be surrounded by supportive trailing spouses, lifting each other up. Yes, that is so true, Judy. We all went through a lot of drama, I would call it. And it's not drama that we just created ourselves. It was something that affected everyone. But again, the way you react to a situation dictates how quickly you can recover from that situation or how badly you will be affected by that situation. It's never always smooth sailing. It's never always just perfect. But you know what? Perfect is also what you make, right? So if you want a perfectly happy life, then don't let the little things affect you. Sometimes that's easier said than done, and I have to admit, I've had my ups and downs. But knowing that we're human and we can just decide to make that change is also quite empowering. So stay strong, and we are all, you know, going through the same thing, and there's always someone ready to support. Let's see. Connie Jonathan, as a person who move a lot, do you have list of things you have to prepare, do? What will be the top three on the list? Very good question. Let me just have a sip. Well, depending on what kind of move you're talking about, and if you're talking about moving to a new country, whenever we start our new post or my husband's new contract, it's about getting the house first sorted, right? But I always bring with me, let me just read this again. Do you have a list of things you have to prepare and do? Okay, so prepare. To prepare, I want to make sure that when I go to that new place, I have something from home. So in every post that we've been to, we've had certain um, uh, displays, certain pictures, and certain wall hangings that we brought from post to post. And that's because every time you walk into my lounge, you've got that. So if you've seen a photo of my lounge, I've got the Indonesian masks, which I bought during our first posting in Indonesia about God, that was 2003. So was that 18 years ago? It's 2020, 2003. I can't compute, no math. 17 years ago. So 17 years ago, I bought those masks. I bought chests. We still travel with those. We have our family photos always, everywhere we go. Because even if the other members of our family aren't with us, when we travel. And right now, I mean, Natty's not going to be with us anymore. We still have them there. We see them there. So we have pieces from home that we bring with us. The second is we bring our optimism. Every time we move to a new place, we have to be optimistic and open minded about the new place. It's never going to be the same. Each place is different. There's always going to be a good and bad. But if you're optimistic about the move, then it's not going to be difficult to love the new place and to make it home, right? And the third is to just make sure that when we move our children from one place to the other, that they go to a good school, they make new friends, I make new friends, and my husband transitions into his new job seamlessly. So not a lot of hard work. A lot of preparation though, a lot of mindset preparation, and a lot of heart. You gotta think with your heart when you're moving, not just with your brain, because when you think with your brain, the transition isn't usually as seamless because there's no heart in it. When you're happy, excited, and you're doing it with love, then it works out, right? But open-mindedness, I think, is one of the most important things to remember, to do, and to prepare for. So thanks for that question. Love that question. Okay. Yes. So for those of you that have been trailing spouses, let me know where you've been or where you are, what the difficulty was in that place. And for those that have put their careers on hold, have you been able to go back and rebuild your career, rebuild your business, or have you got at least a to-do list or to-do plan to get into that, to get it started? Let me know. And again, as I said, look, please don't hesitate. Connect with me. We spouses who put our careers on hold need to support each other. And you know what? If you're thinking it's difficult, connect with someone who's done it. Because if they've done it already, then they can share with you the ups and the downs, what worked, didn't work. You don't have to go through them again. You can go to those mistakes through the person sharing with you or through the person helping you out. Um, with regards to courses, I will be sharing with everyone the courses that are available online. We've just used this opportunity, again, as I said, to just fix them up and tweak a few things. We will be bringing them live after I get into Indonesia. Just so much is happening right now. And there will be a few talks that I'll be doing, a few events that I've been invited to guest in that I'll be sharing with you, and let those things that I get to do inspire you to remember that I stopped, I paused, I sacrificed my career, but then I'm thriving right now. And the family is thriving. I think that's the most important thing. The family is thriving because we've been able to see just how we can make this whole situation work for us. Okay, well, if no one's got any questions, I think I am going to have a break. But know that every Wednesday at 4 p.m. is going to be our regular Cuppa with Michelle show. We will have guests for some, but not for all. There are going to be a few changes, and there are going to be some regulars that's going to be happening. So stay tuned for what's going to be coming up. And I will have a regular segment that's going to be called The Trailing Spouse. So watch out for that one too. If you are a trailing spouse and you want to speak here, let me know. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? Thanks for joining. Couple with Michelle. I will let you know what the topics are ahead of time. If you have something to contribute to that topic and you want to speak and you want to be invited to guest, again, connect with me. I want to be able to share my platform to everyone. We have had good reviews and we've had a lot of viewership for our videos. So I'd like to be able to share my platform to all of you, and be able to help others and how to say give back. I've been given an amazing break by my mentors, my coaches, my friends, and I don't think I will be successful if not for them. So I'd like to be able to give back. Let's work together. And again, hey May, how are you? I'm gonna be back soon. Let's work together and let's make 2020 count. 2020, we're already in November, it's about to end. So if 2020 has been difficult, don't end it difficult. Make the changes and allow your transition to 2021 to be just amazing, just the best. So, and let's do it together. Have a great day, everyone. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. If I missed out on greeting you guys, I will definitely do that as soon as we go through the pages, through your comments, and through your hellos. So please put a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay, and put your comments and suggestions. Oh, I love the new look. Thank you, Ray. Again, still getting used to it. It's going to be better in Jakarta because it's warmer. This morning was so cold. So when it's cold, I'm not used to it because my neck gets cold. So, but yes, thank you. Have a great day, everyone. And see you next week. Cuppa with Michelle at 4 p.m. New South Wales time, 12 noon Jakarta time. Have a great day. Bye.